What is up, guys? We're gonna do this. Yep, we're gonna do it right now. We are going to talk about why this channel exists. Can I just say, please ignore how disgusting I look. It's been a long day. This is my third time filming this video and I have red spots all over and I just look terrible. Little tabs in, which I now know I will not be referencing because it is just too much. It is just too much. But I found this. I hate this book. Commentary by Taylor Nuckolls, 2014. And on the back, about the commentator, she hated this book. Or she does not like this book. Both are true. She's traveling up from Texas to the Northern Lights for some unknown reason. We find that out at the end. And she just meets these four people on her way there. She zigzags, yes, zigzags from Mississippi to Kansas City to Minneapolis to Washington to Alaska. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. But basically she runs into these four people and the first four sections are from, it's all from third person, but it's basically from their perspective, and then the last section is from her perspective, and that's where we learn about why she's doing this and what she's doing. It's a bad book. I do not recommend it for a good read. Some people have liked it. A lot of people have liked it. I just did not. I don't think anybody on BookTube will really enjoy this book because it's just the epitome of tropes and cliches and manic pixie dream girl. But I'm going to read one thing out of here just to show you what really irked me. The first thing that set off the alarm that this was about a manic pixie dream girl and what kind of made me start writing, because I never wrote in books before this, and what made me start writing comments and highlighting was this passage. So basically she goes from Texas to Mississippi, and that's where we meet her first character, which I will get to. He's a mechanic at his dad's place. She pulls up needing her car worked on, and her car is red. And when I say red, I mean red, like everything is red. He asks her why her car is completely red, and this is her response. I like red, don't get me wrong, but I have a deep appreciation for anything willing to be totally and utterly itself. If you're gonna be red, well, then be red. Hudson could only nod to himself. He'd never met anyone who talked this way, the way he thought. The lines in this are just so ridiculous. The similes used are crazy, like unnecessary. They're unnecessarily out there. Like he thought that he was being cool and deep by using these similes, and they were not common, they were not good. I did not like them at all. If you want more details about my comments and the highlights and the specific lines of this book and why they're bad, then leave a comment below and I would love to do that video if people are interested. If not, please enjoy how I go into each character and each kind of section and talk about them very briefly to keep this video from being 2 hours long. Here we go. Let's get into it. I was going through and I was attempting to read everything I highlighted in all of these passages because they're just so absurd and it just shows how bad the writing is. But basically, Hudson, the first character, has this huge interview, and because of Layla, he blames her for him missing his interview because he stayed out all night with her, even though it is obviously not her fault, it's completely his because that was his decision. He over-sexualizes her constantly, he blames her for everything, makes her apologize, treats her like crap, and just blames her for everything. Like, what are you doing in my life? Who is this girl who just walked into my life and ruined everything? That kind of thing. So he's just trash. He's utter trash, and I don't understand how he's a beloved love interest in this book by the people who have made reviews for it. Then we go to Bree. Bree is the girl who Leela picks up on her way to Kansas City from Kansas, so that whole dynamic doesn't make sense to me, because if she's coming from Mississippi and she's driving this way to Kansas City, I can't picture that in my head, so that kind of bothered me. So we meet Bree. Bree ran away from home because I think her parents died and her sister was being too strict. So she ran away from home from Reno and made her way to Kansas City, and then they get arrested, and Bree's story didn't bother me as much overall, except for the fact that she's just a young girl who ran away from her sister after their parents just died. Like, that sucks. The third character we come across is Elliot, and Adi said that Elliot was most like him, which makes me not like him because the character was just so cliche. So Layla hits Elliot with her car. He's drunk, he just left homecoming. His best friend that he's in love with doesn't love him back, and he is heartbroken because it was supposed to be like the movies, but it wasn't like the movies, and this kid is wrapped up in the fact that it's supposed to be like the movies, and he's so cliche, and everything about him is just so cliche. And basically what happens is they go and he does this big grand gesture at homecoming saying how much he loves her, and realistically it just doesn't work. It just does not work. And then at one point she goes to this house party or something, and something happens. It's too much. So then she makes her way to Washington. She meets this girl named Sonia. Sonia had a husband who had just passed away, and she realizes that she's in love with she's in love with somebody. And somebody's on their way to getting married in British Columbia, Canada, and she's in Washington, and she has the rings, but she forgot her passport at a 7-Eleven in Canada, so she can't get back into Canada, so they have to smuggle her into Canada. Basically, Sonia's storyline was my favorite. I have barely anything highlighted in hers. There were a few things that were weird. His introduction to characters is just calling them by their first names without giving you who they are, which kind of threw me off. And then our fifth character is, of course, Layla herself. After she gets up to the Northern Lights, we find out that she had amnesia because she was in a car accident and lost her whole family, and she just the only thing she remembered was going up to Alaska for her birthday and seeing the Northern Lights. So she made this road trip up to the Northern Lights to see if she could remember anything from her past. Then we find out in Sonia's story that she's like in love with Hudson, who she knew for a day, who was a complete asshole to her at the end of their friendship for those 2 days. And then he comes up and he drives up and meets her there. This book just sucks. It sucks. I want someone to read this just so we can talk about and discuss how much this book sucks. It's filled with tropes and cliches and a manic pixie dream girl. I thought I'd prepared for this video, but I really feel like I didn't, because this is my first book review and it is terrible. So if anybody has any tips on how to deal with this video better, if anybody wants to hear some of the highlighted things from Hudson's section alone is just trash. Hudson himself is just trash. So if you have any interest and don't want to buy the book and read the book, then I can just, better prepare and just go through and explain how much of trash Hudson is. But this book is just so bad. And I was preparing for this. I was putting tabs in this book. I realized who the publisher was, and I never thought to look for the publisher when I read in 2014, but it is Harlequin Teens. Sorry, I'm gonna put a headband on. But yeah, if you want to read a terrible book, read Let's Get Lost. If for some reason the author / editor / publisher sees this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I completely am just trashing this book that I know you put all this time and effort into, but please, it's been, almost 4 years. I hope you've learned from these mistakes in this book. I'm happy people enjoyed it. I'm happy that you felt excited about it, but man, it was trash. So that's it for today's video. Make sure to like it if you want more book reviews. I'm gonna be a YouTuber now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell icon so you know when I post, because I'm trying to make it once a week so you can see these trash videos. If you have any sort of comments or suggestions or tips about book review videos, please leave them in the comments. Please give me some sort of, tips to help prepare for these videos, because I have no idea. I don't even know. So let's do this in the comments. If you've made it this far, thanks. In the comments, leave your pet's name and the kind of pet they are, and if they're a dog, what kind of dog they are. If they're a snake, what kind of snake they are. I'll say it again. If you want to read it, then comment that you're going to read it. If you don't want to read it but want more information about how trash it is, comment that too. And if you just don't care, tell me that too. Might as well. Why not? I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. And I'll see you later. Bye.